going to be featuring at some upcoming shows here in the Valley. The Store's Objection on the 10th, Comedy Chops at Scottsdale's Laugh Factory on the 20th, and right here at 7 Minutes in Heaven at Space 55 on the 22nd. Give it up for Hattie Jean Hayes!
Oh, yeah, no. Hey.
Hey, what's happening?
Not a whole hell of a lot, Russ.
Well,
I'm
I appreciate you being here as well. I know you're busy. There's a big comedy festival happening here in Phoenix this weekend.
Yeah, Bird City Comedy Festival. I'll be here for the Store's Objection here in the Space tomorrow at 3 p.m. Part of that, it's a part comedy, part courtroom. So I'm the co-counsel for Matt Storrs, who runs it, and I'll be interrupting people, which is always a great time. I like it.
Are you like the Marcia Clark of the courtroom?
I'm like the Marcia Clark of everything.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, your hair looks fantastic.
Well,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
So were you a comic book reader when you were younger? That's usually attributed to guys like me, but...
Well, I started out reading comics.
You know it is. Don't do that.
It's true.
She didn't just look like ick.
No, it wasn't look like Ape. It was like, oh, that Russ, look at him with his tying us together.
That's nice.
Yeah, I actually read, I read everything voraciously when I was little. But when my family went on a road trip to Florida when I was 5 years old, my mom handed me an Archie comic. It was a Betty and Veronica double digest that she had found at the grocery store in the checkout aisle. She was like, whoa, Hattie's never read a comic book before. Archies are, the way to go. And by the time we had our first stop at the gas station, I had demanded my mother buy me another one because I had just torn through it. I just completely read the entire thing. I was like, Mom, can we stop for gas somewhere that sells these? And from there, I started, from the time I was like 5 years old to the time I was 11 or 12, an absolutely just maddening Archie comic collection. I had every single special that they put out. I had, all the different Americana editions. It's the Archie from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. I had Betty and Veronica dolls. I had 2 goats that I named Betty and Veronica. Very rare collector's item. And
You were really milking.
I was. Yeah, I was. I mean, I guess you could say I really just, I had it bad.
Wow.
It's true. I was gonna try and really force a goat cheese joke, and I just decided it wasn't worth it.
I was thinking about something in the canned laughter. Goats eat cans, but
Goats
it was a
don't
long
actually
road.
eat cans, but goats do poop little pellets.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fun fact. So it's from there, I was obsessed with Archie comics, and then
You know what's great about Archie, by the way?
what? The ginger? Is that
Yeah, that's
it?
right. Yeah, I haven't seen him.
But have you seen Jughead, Russ?
What
a cutie.
Wow, okay.
I was always a Jughead.
You're pro crown.
I am. Yeah, it's true. And he was a goofball. I'm a goofball. I like sandwiches. What else could a girl want in a man? So from there, I didn't really read superhero comics or literally anything else, any other comic at all, until I was in high school. And I was a big geek, go figure. And in the summers, I would take college classes at a summer camp, nerd camp, essentially. And one of those was called Contemporary Literature. It was all comic books. It was entirely comic books. We started off with the original X-Men, and I was just floored. That was it for me. I was sold. We read, I think, 5 or 6 different iterations of X-Men, and then we moved into. We only read one issue of Watchmen, which is torture because it's not. You can find them easily bound all together in a complete story. And then they're like, oh, here, you just get the first one, which was cruel and unusual.
But the first taste was free.
The first taste was free, and then the second taste, the full meal was also free because I just asked my parents for it. So,
There you go.
it was my birthday gift that year.
You could do that with cigarettes, so that's good.
Right, I just had to steal my parents'
Yeah,
cigarettes. So, that was tough. But, so then from there, I also have a younger brother. He's 8 years younger than I am. So I came back from this nerd camp with all these comic books. I'm like, hey man, check out these cool comic books. Let's read these together. And then of course we were both suckered in. So when he was younger and couldn't really read, I would read things to him, and that included comics. So that brought us together, and he and I actually just went and saw Dawn of Justice,
cool.
Batman versus Superman.
What'd you think?
Well, I think it was about 45 minutes too long.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'm wrong.
And no spoilers, Brian hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Sure.
I really, really wanted to like Lois Lane. I've never seen, female characters get a lot of flack for not doing things, or Lois Lane, and especially in this iteration, is the epitome of that. She literally is just causes problems. That's all she does.
Wow. Okay.
That's the
Now some
entire
storytellers might call that a catalyst, but you were saying that
no,
it was
I'm saying she does unnecessary things. It's not.
It's superfluous.
She's not. Yeah, she's not catalyzing. She's just like a cliff. I should fall. She doesn't actually fall off a cliff. That was a metaphor.
no spoilers.
No, she does dumb things, and it made me sad.
There's without risking a spoiler. There is a part of a movie where she does something, and then immediately she's like, "Oh, I should have done that." And
Yes.
it was such a.
And then when she tries to remedy it, she almost dies. Nobody's
That
perfect.
the superfluous plot twist.
Right.
Dawn of my disappointment.
Yeah,
I think that should have
that's
been the
it.
name of the movie.
Yeah. My brother and I, of course, argued the whole way home, because he's like, well, and he liked it for some reason, from a cinematography standpoint. He talked about, he's like, the camera work was really, and I'm like, dude, you're 13.
The camera work.
The camera work does not make up for the gaping plot holes.
Well, keep in mind too that a 13-year-old is most familiar with entertainment on YouTube. Stuff shot like this. So.
It's true. Well, my brother's actually a huge movie buff. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So he, that's another thing that he wants to be a director when he grows up.
Oh, cool.
And so he always gives me a hard time. He's like, Hattie, when I'm a director, you can't act in my movies. I'm like, why? Is it because everyone will blow up, and I know that you're gonna think that because you're my sister, I'll let you live, but I won't.
Wow.
Oh, okay,
What kind of movies is he gonna make?
Blockbusters, apparently.
Apparently.
It sounds like a Michael Bay picture.
Yeah.
Explosions everywhere.
So you're going to be in at least 3 shows within the next 2 weeks. Am I reading this right?
Yes.
Where do you find the time to
I don't
perform so much?
So I actually, in the first 9 days, this is my 8th show in the first 9 days of the month, and tomorrow will be my 9th.
Wow. Are you addicted to the stage?
I am.
Okay.
I feel so weird when I'm not, getting ready for a performance. And I do go to school full time, and I do work 30 hours a week. So I don't know where I find the time.
Wow.
But I make the time. Because the thing is, if you want to perform and you're not performing, the only thing that's stopping you is the fact that you're not doing it. I basically feel like, wow, I've gone my whole life not being able to do this, and now I finally am, so I want to be able to do it.
That's fantastic. What was your first taste of being on the stage and feeling like, yes, this is where I belong?
It was at nerd camp. Look at all my formative experiences. So I went to this summer camp in Missouri at Drury University, and we had committees. It was my first night there. We were placed on committees. We didn't get to choose. They just assigned us, and I was on the nightly news committee. And up until that year of camp, it had been, here's what we did at camp today. Lunch was fish sticks, and new classes started, and here's what people had to say. And it was all very cut and dry, boring. And I said, I hate this. In our first meeting, I was like, that's dumb. Are you guys familiar with Weekend Update on SNL?
Uh-oh.
This was the summer where I literally watched the Best of Adam Sandler SNL on Netflix twice a day.
Wow.
It was one of the many insufferable summers for me, in which I was just obnoxious all the time, and that was fun. So working with the rest of this committee of punk teen boys who I didn't really know, we put together a sketch show essentially, and we had a really goofy weatherman, and we had a point counterpoint thing, and I was under the impression, since it was the first day of camp and nothing had actually happened, that we wouldn't have the news till the next day. So I, being 15, went to do my bedtime ritual of putting on my nightgown, taking out my contacts, and putting my hair in rollers. And then someone came and knocked on my door and said, hey, we're getting ready for the nightly news, aren't you coming? And I was like, what do you mean? Tonight? Like, Nothing has happened. It's the news that we have done nothing. We got here, our parents left, we all cried a little, we ate fish sticks, here we are.
That generally doesn't stop the news if nothing happens.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but you know, see, I wanted to be logical about it, and
Sure.
I wasn't ready. I was like, well, I don't have a bit for myself. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I, figured we would work on this more tomorrow. So I, in my nightgown and my rollers, go out to the common area where, 95 kids are sitting and waiting, and I'm like, well, Jesus Christ, what am I supposed to do? So Adam Sandler did a bit on SNL in which he did Halloween costumes.
Okay.
So one of them was about to sneeze, man, and he just made a face like he was about to sneeze. He said, I'm about to sneeze, man. Look at my face all screwed up like I'm about to sneeze. Will you give me some candy? Candy. And then, he took off.
It still works.
Yeah. And so, and then he took off his shoe, and he's like, I'm Mr. Shoe for a hand, man. And that was the whole bit. And so that's what I did. That was all I could think of to do. I was like, well, guys, it's July, so Halloween's right around the corner. And then I did that bit, there was a Scrabble board. One of the girls had a Snuggie, so I was Captain Snuggie Face. And that was it, and it killed. Everyone loved it. Probably because we were all delirious from, being busy and staying up late.
And being 13.
And being, 15.
15.
15 and fish sticks. The chemistry is
Yeah. So I did that, and I was like, wow, that was cool. And then in the talent show at the camp, I performed like I said, I was really into Adam Sandler at this point and not very original yet. He also did a song called Red Hooded Sweatshirt.
Of course, classic.
Which I did in a pink sweatshirt from Bass Pro. I know, called Pink Hooded Sweatshirt, and I did the whole thing, and it just was like, oh, this is it. I was gonna be a doctor, but I guess I just have to go be a comedian instead. That's all I really think I'll ever find happiness in.
That's fantastic. That was great. I just sang at a medium pace at karaoke night.
Hey, there you go. We bonded over karaoke, and just not like doing it, just like talking about it. If you ever actually saw me do karaoke, you probably wouldn't invite me to anything again.
Oh, I don't believe that. I think karaoke is, you're performing for an audience of one, yourself.
It's true.
And everybody else just happens to be there. As long as you mean it and feel it,
God,
who cares
I
what
mean
everybody
it.
else thinks? Who cares what everybody else thinks? Am I right, people? That's what karaoke is. The stage was glistening off a tear in the back, so I appreciate that.
That's inspiration.
Let's plug these gigs again, but then for the sake of our internet viewers as well, talk about where they can find you online. So you're going to be at the Stores Objection tomorrow night, for those of you here. 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so a delightful mid-afternoon show.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lunchtime treat. Basically.
Right here at Space 55. Yeah. And then this is awesome. You're going to be at the Laugh Factory in Scottsdale.
Yes.
For the Comedy Chops show.
Okay, so Chopped is a show in which people cook or something and then get eliminated. Comedy Chops is a show in which people tell jokes or something and then get eliminated.
And they get eliminated.
So hopefully I'll be given the ingredients for my jokes, which are just topics, and then I have to write jokes on them real quick. And I'm competing against other comedians, so that'll be cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder what the arugula equivalent of a comedy topic is, because there's always that one thing you don't know in Chopped, and it's like, arugula?
It's probably like probably going to be an obscure literary reference that will be like, what? Is this a movie? Is this a Steven Seagal movie? Or is it a Henry David Thoreau book? I don't know.
If tomorrow you hear, or if at the Chopped you hear Dead Heat on a Merry-Go-Round, here's some foreplay.
Yeah, I'm probably...
You can simulate the scar and just monologue.
Right, yeah. I could see Dead Heat on a merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round.
It sounds like child criminals. I'm thinking child criminals getting in a shootout with the police at a playground. So I'd probably spin it that way, probably create a scenario.
Oh, you're thinking of the movie Heat with kids on a merry-go-round is what you're thinking.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, all right. So you have that to look forward to at the Laugh Factory on the 20th. And then right here at Space 55, 7 Minutes in Heaven, the variety show.
Yes.
And that's on the 22nd.
Yes, it is, yeah.
And online, folks can find you at helloitshattie.com.
Yep, that's
or
correct.
Follow you on Instagram or Twitter at Queen Hattie Jean.
Yeah, that's it. And if you, don't remember my name at all, I have business cards, which, I can give you and then you'll know how to spell it and then find it on the internet, or you can just, be like, hey, am I spelling this right? When you're looking me up. That's an alternative.
Cool, okay. We'll give it up for Hattie Jean Hayes, everybody.